Hello, everybody. Andrew Blake from the digitalaudiomanual.com. And today, let's talk about tips for matching the Cubase grid to certain kinds of audio, and specifically tips on how to use the warp tool. So when you're dealing with audio where the tempo is changing and you want to get Cubase's grid and click track to match that, right here we have a click track that I made. It starts out with a fairly consistent tempo, but as it moves along at the end, the tempo slows down dramatically. If we analyze a piece of audio like this, go to Project, and the tempo track, and the tempo detection, choose the option to analyze, what we get is something that's close, but definitely needs some refinement. We listen to how the clicks are lined up now. They're pretty good at that point, but when we move to this area where things slow down and listen to that, it's basically not following it at all. We can see that Cubase made little marks on the tempo track at every transient for this click on the audio track. And it moves along pretty good until it gets to this area. We can see that these little marks are now quite a bit in front of the actual audio. We switch over to our warp tool. We can grab these points and move them to where they line up. So far, so good. But when we zoom back out here, you can see that all of these points, pretty much to the end of this audio now, are out of alignment. And if we start grabbing every one of them and one by one start moving them closer to where they belong, we can only move each point so far. Once these points have been written onto the grid like this, our warp tool will only allow us to move in between. You can't move past any of the boundary points. And if we run out of room as we're moving our points along, pretty soon we get this collection of points and we've kind of painted ourselves into a corner where we can't really fix the problem any longer. A good approach at this point is just to remove all these extra points that go to the end of the audio, allowing us to remove these boundaries and just draw in our own points to make this a cleaner analysis. To remove these points, if we identify where we want to start changing them, in this case, I look at bar 54, and this did a pretty good job. So I want to keep this point at bar 54, but I want to get rid of all the rest of these and basically redraw in my own. If I look over at the left at the inspector for the tempo track, I have this E up here where I can open the tempo editor, which gives me a much easier view of all these different points. I can see how everything has changed over time. And if I look at bar 54, I can then just take my cursor and drag over all these extra points, selecting them, and hit the delete key, easily removing all those and just leaving a straight line. Now when I drag something, all the points to the right move and stretch out, and I have complete freedom how far I want to move this. This makes it very easy to line up the audio I see above it. And every time I move along and grab another point, I can click that, and again, all the points to the right are going to move. Finishing out these last few marks becomes pretty easy work, and then I can get everything lined up just the way I want it. And now when I listen to this audio with the click, everything slows down perfectly, and I have the result that I want. Sometimes you want to add a number of points for a group of measures. If you write in just a few, when I take my object tool, it automatically becomes a pencil. I can quickly draw in a couple of points here. But let's say I want to extend this out for quite a few extra bars. I can now switch over to my range tool, just make a selection of those particular points, and then when I hit Control and D, I can duplicate those and very quickly get a number of points, all at the same basic tempo, to finish out this piece of audio. So when it completes playing, it's going to stay at this steady tempo. A useful shortcut that comes up in various places with Cubase, anytime you have a long line of different kinds of data, typically, just like you can hover over it and click on it to select it, usually you can also hold Shift and double-click that, and that selects similar data of whatever this is, all the way to the end of wherever it's written. So you can do this right in the project view, and then if you need to delete it, you can just get rid of it that way. Switching back to the time warp, then I can begin right here, lining up my last few tempo marks. Another interesting behavior, whenever you're using this warp tool to change tempo around, if I look down at the existing tempo, whatever point I've last selected, this one's showing 107. If you go all the way up to the ruler, you also get a preview of the tempo and how these different markers are affecting it. So if I grab it up here, I can also see this tempo changing in different numbers. And that helps to guide me in case I'm looking for a certain target or I just want to stay around a certain value. So knowing how to use these various tools, whether it's the tempo warp tool and its different variations, or how that works on the tempo track, or actually opening up the tempo track when you need to. If you understand these things, it will help you to move through any kind of editing you have to do with real precision and a great feeling of confidence. And if you're looking to increase your understanding of all the different features and functions in Cubase, be sure to click the link in the description of this video or stop by the digitalaudiomanual.com for more information. As always, it's great to have you here. Thanks for watching, and I will see you on the next video.